And good evening, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here. Take a look at your tropical update for October 27th of 2020. Giving you guys kind of a late night version of this, brought to you by the folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling. Taking a wide view of what's happening into the tropics, and we've got a couple of things going on outside of the obvious into the Gulf. We've got this guy out here, and a little wave kind of out here, but outside of that, the real story is going to be Zeta into the Gulf of Mexico, a tropical storm, a wind at 70, gusting to 85 as of this recording, moving to the northwest at 15 miles an hour. I wouldn't be surprised by the 1 a.m. update if this is back to being a hurricane and moving to the north at 15 miles an hour. It is moving a fair bit quicker than I was anticipating 24 to 36 hours ago that it would be going. I figured it'd still be doing about 10 to 12 at this point, so 15... it is going to show up and be knocking on the door maybe a little bit sooner than anticipated along the Gulf Coast, where right now the forecast is for it to make landfall somewhere between about 4 and 6 o'clock at night across parts of the Louisiana coastline and move kind of north-northeast across parts of South Mississippi and into parts of Alabama as we head through the night on Wednesday and into early Thursday morning. The chances that you're dealing with tropical storm force wind in those areas, somewhere between 60, 70, 80, and 90%. Across parts of South Mississippi, a 50 to 60% chance across parts of coastal Alabama and into the Florida Panhandle, and a near 90% chance along the southeastern sections of Louisiana in terms of dealing with hurricane force conditions. This one's a little surprising to me that it's only, about 30% along the Louisiana coast. I figured it would be a little bit higher than that, but it's also surprising that these numbers run in the teens and even the single digits as far north as Laurel and Waynesboro, Mississippi. That's actually pretty surprising in some of the counties of Alabama. So, worth noting that if this thing wraps itself up and gets itself back into a reasonable-looking hurricane pretty quickly, even the cooler shelf waters as this thing moves ashore, it's going to be moving pretty quickly, which means it's not going to have a lot of time to fall apart before moving ashore. That's part of the reason why these hurricane force winds kind of go that far inland. But it's surprising that the number isn't a little bit higher, a little further off to the south, given the fact that it's so close to being a hurricane right now. We'll pick things up as we head through the day on Wednesday. Here we are into the afternoon with Zeta still off the coast, making landfall somewhere around... That was supposed to stop. Anyway, making landfall somewhere around 4 o'clock. Apologize about that. And then moving through the area as we head through the overnight hours Wednesday into Thursday. Your winds as we head through the day on Wednesday looking like this. And then as we head through the evening, I have a feeling this is going to stop where it's going to blow right through it. Wind speeds overnight and into the evening hours of gusting to around 40, 50, even 60 and 70 miles an hour, particularly across some of our southern and southeastern counties. Let's see if the rainfall does what I want it to do. Hey, that's not bad. Okay. So your projected rainfall showing the higher totals across some of our southeastern counties, lighter and lower totals back off to the northwest. And this is something we've been talking about almost the whole time, that a lot of places are going to see kind of 2 to 3 inches of rain. A lot of folks are, up to 3 inches, and then a few folks maybe a little bit more than that, but everybody sees up to about an inch of rain and wind gusts to about 30 miles an hour. In fact, the timeline on this, from 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday through 2 a.m. on Thursday, everywhere seeing the heavy rain at times, again up to an inch of rain, and wind gusts to 30 miles an hour, with a lot of folks seeing up to 3 inches of rain, wind gusts to 45 miles an hour, with some places picking up even more than that, up to 5 inches of rain, wind gusts up to 60, with other places up to 7 inches of rain. I know it wasn't shown on that graphic, but there's going to be a couple of spots that they get stuck underneath these rain bands that just won't move. They end up with 7 inches of rain, wind gusts in some places up to 75 miles an hour. That's going to be mainly along the Highway 26 corridor and points south, a little bit closer to the coast, and we can't rule out the possibility of a couple of tropical tornadoes across the area. The question then becomes, what next? I mean, this season continues to offer just hurricane after hurricane after hurricane. So, Nick, what's coming down the pipe? I know that's what you're wondering. Well, I got some good news, at least within the modeling right now, not much. You can see the dry air kind of winds out across most of the Atlantic. We tend to look a little bit closer to home this time of the year anyway. We're kind of looking kind of right in here. And notice that, we got a couple areas of vorticity in there, but they don't really do anything all the way through Election Day, past that point, and toward the first weekend in November, which hurricane season, by the way, does go until November 31st. So there's a look at your tropical update for October 27th of 2020, brought to you by the folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling.